Chào mừng quý vị quay trở lại với phần tiếp theo của chương trình Đồng tiền thông minh trên kênh FBNC. Mời quý vị cùng tiếp tục theo dõi cuộc trò chuyện giữa chúng tôi với ông Bernd Waterman, là giám đốc điều hành của Boston Consulting Group Singapore, về chủ đề thị trường nhân lực Việt Nam trước làn sóng hội nhập với cộng đồng kinh tế ASEAN AEC 2015.
Right now in Vietnam, a lot of people doing job hopping. They're changing jobs many times because there's more opportunities. So when the country is getting more integrated into the ASEAN's economic community, is even more opportunities. So for employers, how can you retain good talent?
Yeah, as I said earlier, they should think beyond just the dollars. They have to put together a value proposition which is attractive. One thing I cannot overemphasize is the career path, the growth opportunity. Whenever we have colleagues from BCG joining companies in the region, they're very happy initially, but then they come back to us and say, well, I don't know what the plan is for me in this company. And if they feel this lack of longer-term orientation on the employer side, they are more inclined to take another offer where they make $500 more a month. So it comes back to, an experience beyond the salary, which these companies have to offer, and make sure that this individual knows he or she is appreciated. There is a future. There are fantastic growth opportunities. With that, even growth in income.
But I mean, when 10 members of ASEAN's getting together as one market, there's a lot of differences in culture too. That's something that the employer should be concerned of? Different in culture?
In terms of coaching and leading, there are clearly different leadership styles. But I must say, you see within different company types, within a country, often a broader spectrum of leadership styles and coaching styles than across countries. So, a state-owned company and a more progressive private company may be vastly different within a given country. And that difference may be bigger than between, say, Vietnam and Malaysia or Thailand. So the country dimension, I would not, see as too much differentiating here. I think it's really the style, the people and leadership platforms which have been built in a given company, and the style of the owner, the style of the CEO who imposes a certain way of doing things in a company. I think that is much more determining how you feel being led in a company. It's really the leadership as it is practiced at the top.
So how could employers engage employees better to the job?
I'll give you one example. You have at all levels in an organization people who stand out. Understanding, for example, these cohorts better, identifying them even lower in the organization. We always think about the top talent being as people at the top. It is really a sliver across the pyramid through our different layers where we have to identify what are our future talent people who we really want to nurture, retain, and develop. Why don't we take them out from their day-to-day business at times, assign them projects, give them exposure, stretch them, build a management trainee program where they can accelerate in their development. We might even promote them faster. We have to get away from a very egalitarian environment where everyone is promoted after a certain amount of years. We should promote based on performance and potential. And I think this is where a lot of companies can still improve.
Each members of ASEAN countries, they have different levels of economy developments, and the talents, they have different skill set as well. So when we integrate it into one block of the AEC 2015, how does employer look at that pools of talents with different skill set from many different members?
Look, I can only tell you, Khan, from our own experience in BCG, we hire in all these markets. We hire tremendous people in all these markets. There's no bias that we say in market X we don't get good people. The pools may be different in size, but in terms of quality at the top, there is no difference. That is our experience. And on the contrary, I think different styles, different backgrounds, different cultures have a hugely enriching contribution to the performance of an organization. This is what we as an international company feel, operating here with Vietnamese colleagues and colleagues from other markets. And they work together, bring together their rich backgrounds. And I think this is always better for a client solution and for any employer. I would always encourage, diversity, diverse backgrounds as a very important tool to generate more ideas, better ideas, and cross-fertilize.
You came to Vietnam this time to talk about the topic war for talents. So what are some of the major points that you want the audience to remember, keep in mind?
So one is to think beyond the dollars or the Vietnamese dong you pay these people. It is important, and we know there are high demands, and there's a war for talent, which is very much driven by paying people higher. But let's not forget the recruiting aspects I talked about, being more aggressive, outreaching, proactive, having a recruiting engine which allows to bring in the right people, form relationships early, and then develop them, give them growth opportunities, stretch them, bring them out of their comfort zone, and make sure they know what the next step is in their career. Engage them, give them exposure to different people, different problems, different issues, and involve them in the broader topics of the company. Make them part of something bigger than the little tasks they have to work on every day.
So from your experience of working in the Singapore market and many ASEAN markets, what are some of the new trends in human resource management nowadays?
Frankly, one is obviously the emergence of the social media and the importance of social media for recruiting, for example.
Okay.
So, people, before they interview with a given company, they go on the internet. They go into social media sites and form their view. And they have much more transparency how it is working in a given company today than they used to have. It's very important, therefore, to make sure that what you tell people outside in your recruiting events is very consistent with the real experience, because if there's a mismatch, social media will immediately reveal this. So social media are really something companies have to embrace more and more. But stepping back from that, I would just make sure that I get the recruiting, the development, the onboarding, and the retention right, the various things I talked about, get the basics right. In the end, your weakest link defines your performance.
Okay.
Yeah, the weakest people aspect defines your performance. You can be the best recruiter. If you don't develop people, they will leave. If you don't recruit well, but you have great training opportunities, you don't get the right people into the door in the first place. So you have to really tick the boxes on the entire value chain, from recruiting to retention, to get your people performance to a level which will prepare you then for ASEAN.
So for, let's say, for example, a Vietnamese company, for now, they want to expand in order to other countries in ASEAN's region, and they want to hire the local people in that market.
Yeah.
So what should they keep in mind right now? What do they need to prepare for that?
That is one of the biggest challenges, Khan, to go abroad and understand right away the talent, the quality, how to integrate them. And there are different ways. Again, it is very important to signal to a foreigner in any company, whether it's a German company, a Vietnamese company, an American company, or from anywhere, that the passport does not matter when it comes to promotion.
All right.
And we have seen a lot of multinationals, especially, where there's either a reality or a perception that people in local markets can't make career because, the person with a Swedish or German or Vietnamese or French passport will always occupy the top spots. That is very important, to make very clear and send signals that people from other markets, there is no glass ceiling. Yeah? Diversity is good, it's appreciated, everyone can make career, and there's only one thing which counts, it's a combination of performance and potential. And then there are ways to make sure that they embrace the values and the history, the roots of the company. If you want to go to Indonesia as a Vietnamese player, why don't you invite this person to absorb some of the insights first here, get some experience in Vietnam, maybe at the headquarters, and then bring him or her back to the market. I think that way this person can embrace and live the values of this Vietnamese companies on the ground in Indonesia much more compelling.
Yeah. With the so much developments in, like you told me before, the social medias and all kind of internet technology developments, right now, I mean, sometimes the employees, they have so many opportunities. They can even choose the employers, not like before when the employer choose the employees. How would that create challenges for the employers when they really want to attract the right people?
Well, it's exactly as you asked earlier, Khan. You know, this poaching, if you have a market where on the supply side is a bottleneck, like we will have it in Vietnam, or we have it already, there's a lot of power among these young employees to choose and maybe jump ship. Again, I can only reinforce, the more these employers have to think about what they do, fulfill the expectations, some basic expectations on the compensation side. And again, that should not all be fixed, but could be variable. Why not pay this individual a lot if the performance warrants that? If this person in sales hits these high targets and generates so much value for the company. But then go beyond compensation and think about what other things matter to this individual. And again, I come back to the development opportunities, maybe an international experience, things I can expose myself, get out of my comfort zone and grow.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Yes, me too. Thank you. Welcome.
Những chia sẻ vừa rồi của ông Bernd Waterman, giám đốc điều hành của Boston Consulting Group Singapore về chủ đề thị trường nhân lực trước làn sóng hội nhập cộng đồng kinh tế ASEAN 2015 cũng đã khép lại phần 2 của chương trình Đồng tiền thông minh. Quý vị có thể xem lại chương trình trên website fbnc.vn hoặc là facebook.com/đồng tiền thông minh. Chúng tôi sẽ còn quay trở lại với những nội dung đáng chú ý khác.